Hey nerd family, and welcome back to another video. Today we're just doing a little unboxing of the Eufy Robovac 25C. It is a budget robot vacuum that gets pretty decent reviews, so I just wanted to take a look at it. Before we get into today's video, I'm going to go ahead and roll that intro, and I'll see you back here in a second. Alright guys, welcome back. I hope everyone out there is staying safe and staying healthy. If you haven't checked out the nerdcircle.com, make sure to head over there and check it out. Also, make sure you're following along on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Real Nerd Circle. We do sometimes post some things over there when it's not quite time to make a video just yet. So if you don't want to miss out, make sure to head over there. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure to go ahead and do so you don't miss out on any of the new videos. If you do like this video, please go ahead and give it a like. It definitely helps us out. It lets YouTube know who likes the videos and who to recommend them to next. Alright guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in here. Alright, so today we're going to be unboxing the, I know it's a mouthful, the Eufy Robovac 25C. As I said, it is a budget robot vacuum, but I did a lot of research. I helped my mother-in-law pick it out for my father-in-law for Christmas because he was looking at getting one. I wanted him to get the best bang for his buck. This is a little bit older model. We'll kind of cover that here as we go into it, but it was pretty much the best bang for the buck, so we're going to go ahead and unbox it today. There will be some future videos of us kind of going over first impressions, setup and review, things like that. Of course, down in the comments below, let me know if there's anything in particular you want me to take a look at so I can make sure to put it in the next video. But today we're going to go ahead and unbox it. Now we will go over a few things of it, of where I got it, what the price was, things like that as we go through. But it is a vacuum that's going to work with Google Assistant. So it is Wi-Fi enabled. As it says on the front here, it is super slim, so it does fit under lots of surfaces. It does have their Boost IQ technology, so if I remember correctly, that's basically going to let it kind of ramp up the suction power when it needs to and not use so much when it doesn't need to. And it does have touch controls, so those are going to be the controls on the front of the vacuum itself here. So if you don't want to use the app, then you can go ahead and use the touch controls. And this one actually does come with a remote as well. So for people who just really aren't that tech savvy, but maybe want to have the tech savvy features with the app, they also have the remote to control it. Some of the newer models don't come with that remote, so that is something to bear in mind. If you do want a remote, you just make sure to look to see if your model comes with it, but the 25C does. Now it does say it's 3 times stronger suction power. I really, before getting into it, didn't know anything about robot vacuums, and I have to figure out a little bit more still. I'm still kind of researching it, but this is kind of middle of the road for suction power. A lot of your budget robot vacuums don't have a very high suck power, and the more expensive, $600 ones or more have the really good suction power. This pretty much falls in the middle, but from what I was reading from people, that depending on what your use case is, it actually works pretty well. It does come with some free replacement pieces here, and I looked it up. You can get like a whole kit of replacement pieces to last you, a year plus on Amazon for like $20-25. So it's not horrible when you do have to, replace the filters and the brushes, things like that. As we kind of go around the side of the box here, so it again tells you it is slim, so it is 2.85 inches from top to bottom there, so that is ultra thin to fit in most spaces. It says it's optimized for pet owners. It is a powerful, super strong suction power with Boost IQ technology that we already discussed there, and it is connected. Use your smartphone to clean your home, so that's going to be with the Eufy app there to be able to control it. As we go around the back here, now I have to look it up again. I forget exactly what it is, so I apologize, but that suction power, they rate it on a PA scale. I have to look. I'll probably put it in as I'm editing what the PA stands for again, but regardless, they base everything suck power wise on a PA scale, and 1500, like I said, pretty much falls in the middle. A lot of your low grade robot vacuums usually have like a 200 or 300 PA power, whereas the more expensive ones have like a 3,000 or 4,000. So 1500 is pretty decent for what we spent on this here. I apologize, it's got a little hole in the box here, but it does say 3 times stronger suck power than previous. Clean from your smartphone, so we know about that. The touch controls, hard floor and carpet. It does have a washable dust box, so that's good. Not only does it work with Google Assistant, but it does work with Val, who shall not be named, Amazon. You know her. Now, what comes in the box here, you got the vacuum, you have a charging base, you have the remote control with 3 AAA batteries. It looks like it may come with them. Power adapter, you get 4 side brushes, which is one of the things I liked about this versus some of the newer or higher end models, is it does have 2 side brushes, whereas some of the other ones only have 1 side. So I don't know, since I've never had a robot vacuum before, if it really matters, but to me, I'd rather have 2 brushes versus 1. I mean, maybe it doesn't matter, but regardless, it does have that. Additional high performance filter, additional foam filter, cleaning tool, and 5 cable ties. And then it just gives you some of their contact information. You do get a 1-year manufacturer warranty with this as well. So let's go ahead and get it open here. Alright, so we're going to kind of take out some of the less important stuff and put it off to the side here. And by less important, I just mean things we don't need right now. But we do have our power brick here, so just going to be your standard power brick with just a regular cord there. Nothing special. So it does come with the batteries. Now it said it was 3 AAA batteries, and it looks like we got 2 AAA, so I mean, I don't know if the box was wrong or what, but anyways, you get your batteries. You got your remote here. Let's take a quick peek at what the remote looks like and how it feels in the hand. Alright, so let's take a look at the front of it here. It's a little dusty. So the remote is going to have Eufy down at the bottom. Up at the top left, you're going to have what looks like a power button. I mean, it's kind of weird. That's why I stumbled, is because it looks like a cord, but I'm assuming it's a power button. Over on the right, looks like a fan button. Then you have your directional pads, your up, down, left, right. And in the center of that, you have your play and your stop. So I'm assuming that's to start and stop it. And then underneath that, on the left, you have an A. Over on the right, you have an arrow. On the bottom left, you have a circular arrow, and on the bottom right, you have what looks like a timer. I don't know what all these buttons are, so we are going to have to look in the manual for some of them. And, you know, feeling, it's a pretty light remote. It doesn't have the batteries in it yet, but the batteries aren't that heavy. But it's a pretty light remote. It feels good in the hand. It's pretty decent size. So as far as remotes go, it's not horrible. On the back, it does give you, it says, the fan, I guess, is the suction power. So that top right fan looking button is the suction power. Standard is 1 beep. Boost IQ is 2 beeps. Max is 3 beeps. So I guess when you press that, you can change that suction power. The cord button that I said was power looks like it's charge. The A is auto clean. The right arrow looking thing there is edge clean. The circular arrow is spot clean, and the timer is quick clean. So it gives you kind of those instructions on the back there. So that's really all there is to the remote. So let's go ahead and put that off to the side. Now I'm sure it also probably gives you the instructions in the manual here for that remote as well. I'm going to put put that off to the side for now. Get rid of some of the packing material here. Alright, and it looks like the next thing we have to take out is the vacuum itself because everything else is underneath it. So it is wrapped in this plastic. Let's go ahead and take that out. Alright, so this is what you're going to see when you first open it here. So you have those touch buttons up here. You do have some tape pieces kind of, with some instructions here. So it says switch on before use, remove sticker before use. Have a little bit of like padding material over here. I mean, there's really not too much to show you on the front of it here. You can see the side profile here, that it is pretty thin. So if you can, you kind of compare it to an average cell phone. So hopefully you can kind of see the difference there. It's probably what, 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 cell phones high. I know that's really not scientific, but hopefully that gives you an idea. And then here we have the bottom. So you can kind of see a little bit of the bottom there. But on the bottom, you're going to have, there's a spot where it says to attach a side brush up at the top left as well as on the top right. So the top 2 spots are where you attach the side brushes that we have yet to unpack. And then you do have a battery door where it's got like the model number and everything on it. Here is a little battery door there. So if you do need to replace the battery, it looks like it's got some screws that you can take off and buy a battery replacement there. Next to that, it does have their contact information with their hours and everything, so definitely good to have the support there. Of course, you're going to have your different wheels and everything here. And then underneath all the wheels is going to be the main brush that's going to suck everything up. Now, it does look like it's got a couple like magnetic things on the bottom. I don't know exactly what they're for, so we will have to kind of look further into that. And then at the very bottom is going to be that like dust collection tray, if you will. And it does give you some indications here. So it says Robovac will emit a series of beeps when it's in trouble, indicated by a flashing or solid red light. And then it does give you the chart there of saying flashing red indicator light, 1 beep, 2 beep, 3 beeps, 4 beeps of what's going on. A solid red indicator light with 1, 2, 3, or 4 beeps of what's going on. And then it says you can refer to the troubleshooting section of the manual for more information. So it kind of gives you some nifty tips and tricks there. And then to the left of the brush, there is that on-off button there. So you can use that to turn it on or off. And it is protected by some rubber, just so I'm sure if there is some kind of water, it doesn't short anything out there. So there's really not too much to it. That's really all there is there. Weight-wise, it doesn't feel too heavy. I don't have any other robot vacuum to compare it to, but it doesn't feel awfully heavy. I don't think you're really going to be picking it up too often. I mean, unless you're just, emptying the cartridge out, changing the filters, whatever it might be. It's going to mainly be on the floor for most of its life. But when you do have to pick it up, it doesn't feel too heavy to me, so I wouldn't really worry about the weight. It does feel like it's got some pretty decent build quality. There's, rubber going around the edges here, and everything feels pretty sturdy. And as far as packing, like I said, they put in some things here to kind of protect it, to make it here. And it looks like you just press the button to go ahead and take this out, and it gives you instructions on how to empty it and what to do, and then you just go ahead and slide it back in there. So pretty easy. Let's go ahead and put this to the side. There is a few other things left in the box here. Alright, so in this bag is going to be our zip ties there. We do have a cleaning brush here. It's got kind of a multi-use for different things you may need to clean there. And it also has a little cutter on there as well. We do have the 4, so you get 2 sets of 2, 4 brushes that we're going to attach to the bottom there. And then we have our base. I know some complaints that a lot of people have as far as the more expensive Robovacs go is that the bases take up a lot of space. You have to have a decent amount of room for it to kind of maneuver and get back into its home. And to me, this base doesn't seem like it's going to require a whole lot of space. It doesn't look like it's going to be too big. I definitely think that this is going to be somewhat easy to find a spot for. And, you know, I don't know what the vacuum needs for it to maneuver to get back into it, but I don't think it's going to require too much work here. And now I know what those metal things on the bottom are for. It's so when it contacts the base, it knows that it's on or off the base. So that's going to answer that question for us. And then down at the bottom is where you're going to go ahead and plug it in. And it looks like you can kind of wrap the cord around a little bit there, so that way you know, some cable management is built in there. And it does give you a little thing at the bottom here that tells you how much space you need on either side of this and in front of it for the vacuum to maneuver. So you need 3 feet or 1 meter on either side of it, and then 6 feet or 2 meters in the front of it. So it does give you that on the bottom there. And then the last thing we got in here is just going to be a replacement filter. So we got that replacement filter, and that's everything that's in the box. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to kind of just jump over, and we're going to go over some of the pricing and where I got it and some of the other things here. And then we're going to go ahead and just tie up this unboxing video for today. So let's take a moment here. Alright guys, so here we are over at Walmart.com. Hint, hint, that is where I purchased it. Now, it currently, at the time of filming this, is showing that it's $129. I did purchase it for $99, but it was right before the holidays there. I believe, if I read correctly in one of the reviews, that Walmart had this as a Black Friday item, and then they probably didn't sell out of all of them, so they kept the sale going for that $99. So $99 was a steal for a vacuum that does what it says it does. Obviously, we have yet to test it, but I did a couple hours worth of research, and you know, they didn't want to spend more than $300 max on a robot vacuum, and even then, I don't know that they would have wanted to spend $300. They probably would have been more comfortable with $200, maybe $250. But there's a lot of options out there in that price range, but they just either don't really work very well. They have a lower suction power, or you know, don't have some of the smart features working with the different assistants like this does, things like that. And again, this isn't going to be the best of the best. If you want the best, you're going to spend $600. So now that we've kind of made it to that point, $129 is still a really good price for this pre my review of it. But going over all the different things here, as you can see, you can also get it on Amazon for the same $129. Now, on Amazon, it only had 89 people give it a review, but even those 89 people gave it 4.5 stars. Just like over here on Walmart, there was 2,753 reviews. They gave it 4.5 stars. And the consensus is that it works really well. Some of the people complain that it doesn't have some of these extra bells and whistles, but it really just depends if you need those. So just to kind of cover what it doesn't do, is that some of the more expensive, higher-end models allow you to map it out in your house, where you can kind of set boundaries, things like that, in the app for it to not go in certain rooms, things like that. And some of the older version of that technology has like these strips you can put down that are magnetic, that when it hits it, it knows to kind of stop there and turn around, or, you know, just not go past that strip. And it doesn't do either of those things. You can't map this out, and you can't put down those strips. But for their purposes, their house is pretty much a straight shot from one end to the other, and they can kind of close doors off if they don't want it to go in certain areas. So I didn't think it was going to really be a necessity for them to have those features. At the time, I don't know, since I'm not really covering it now, at the time of me researching all this, they could have maybe spent an extra $50 and went with the next model up. I think it's 25C, if I'm not mistaken. And they could have got some of those features. It comes with the strips, things like that. But then they kind of lost a few features. It doesn't come with the remote. Only has the one brush on one side instead of the double brush like this one has. So I kind of just outweighed the pros and cons of if it was worth spending an extra $50 for them to get some of those other features, lose some of the other features, and just kind of see what was better for them. And in our use case, it was better to just spend the $99 on this one, and if it works, great, maybe they'll upgrade in the future. But for now, for them getting their first robot vacuum, this one fit the bill, and it's what we chose. So all in all, unboxing it, kind of looking through everything, I do think it's going to be a great option. Now, a lot of people said that they don't last very long, but I was getting that consensus with a lot of robot vacuums that, they just, they don't last longevity wise, that after, a year or 2 years worth of usage, that it's just not as good as when it first started. But I think that's just kind of the nature of the beast. It's a little computer that's kind of running around your house, sucking up dirt, bumping into things. I don't expect it to last for a long time, and that's why I think I wouldn't spend $600 on one, because I don't know what it's going to last unless they gave like a 6-year warranty on it. I mean, having a 1-year warranty, being able to have replaceable parts, things like that, I think that the money was well spent on this, and I will update that in future videos if anything changes. That does lead me to battery life. What I was reading on this one is that you get roughly about 3 hours worth of cleaning, and then it takes I think it was about 5 hours for a full charge, something like that. So don't quote me on that, and we're going to wait to see if that's actually true when we go to do the review. But, again, their house isn't that big, and I don't think it's going to be that messy. They don't currently have any pets or anything like that. It's really just so they don't have to sweep and stuff all the time. They have a lot of hardwood floors in a few rooms that have some carpet. So I don't think it's going to be a huge factor for them if it's gonna last an hour and a half, 2 hours, or whatever it might be to vacuum and go back to its home in charge. And I think they're gonna pretty much run it at nighttime, which is I think what most people should do. Set your schedule to run it at nighttime, so that way it just kind of does its thing, goes back into its charge, and then if you need to use it during the day, it should be charged up for you. I think that's what our game plan is going to be. But as you can see, for $129, I think I'm going to be pretty happy with the purchase for them, and updates will follow. And if you guys want to compare any of the other models, there's a lot of great spots where you can compare it. Let me know down below. I can kind of compile some of those websites that I use to compare, and I can make sure to mention it in the next video, put it in the description down below. But either way, I think this is going to be a great option for us. If you guys do want more information, of course, let me know in the comments down below what you'd like me to cover. If there's anything I missed in this video, I will make sure to cover it in the next one. Alright, now just a few final thoughts that I wanted to add here. So as far as the weight when we were holding it, like I said, it didn't feel too heavy, and I did look it up, and the actual weight is only 5.2 pounds. So I think that's a pretty, decent weight for what it is. I don't think it's too heavy for that. It doesn't have a huge dust collection bin. Some of the higher end models of both this brand and others do have bigger bins, but it does have a bigger bin than previous models. So they say it's a 0.6 liter dust bin capacity. I think it's a pretty decent size. I mean, the only reason you really need the bigger dust bin is if you have a huge house and you want it to be cleaning for a long period of time and not have to clean out that dust bin so frequently. But I mean, I think it's, from looking at it, a pretty decent sized dust bin, so I think I'm pretty happy with the size of it. Again, if you upgrade to another model that's got a bigger dust bin, you may lose some other features here and there depending on what your needs are, so just keep that in mind. It does have drop sensing technology, so I believe what that does is if it senses that it's going to drop off something like a stair or something like that, as it gets to the edge, it backs away so that way it doesn't fall. You can also locate it with the Eufy Home app. So I don't really know when you would need to do that, but I guess if you do have a big house and you don't know, maybe it died en route and you don't know where it's at, you can go ahead and locate it with the Eufy app. And if I didn't mention, it does also support voice control. So with your assistants, you can set up a routine and use your voice to go ahead and command it to do things. So that's also an added bonus there as well. And they do say that it's a brushless motor with minimal noise, so we will test that, of course, in the full review here. But supposedly it's pretty quiet while running. Alright guys, but I think that pretty much ties up the video here for you today. I hope I was able to give enough information in this unboxing to help you decide if it's something that you would purchase or not. Of course, if there's anything that I forgot to mention, I'll leave it in the description down below. If there's anything that you guys noticed that I forgot, please leave it in the comments down below. Also, let me know what you would like to see in the next video. I don't know exactly when I'm going to be filming and posting that next video, but let me know your comments as to what you'd like to have in that video, and I'll go ahead and make sure we go ahead and test out those features or answer any of those questions. But I trust the Eufy brand. I do have a few other Eufy products in the house, and I mean, I like them. I don't generally think of them as a vacuum company, but they do make a lot of other products, so hopefully we will have good luck with this. If any of you have used this vacuum or any of their other models, let me know down below what your thoughts are. And also let me know down below, what are your must-have features in the robot vacuum world? But that's all I got for you guys today. If you guys did enjoy this video as much as I enjoyed making it, please give it a big thumbs up. It definitely helps out the channel. It lets YouTube know who likes the videos and who to recommend them to next. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Don't forget to ring that bell so you get notified of any new videos to come out. Also, make sure to share this video across any social media platform that you like. And until next time, guys, stay nerdy.